Hello guys, welcome to my first video on my new YouTube channel. I cannot tell you how many times I've tried to start this video and I've completely given up. So this is it. This is as good as it's gonna get. For those of you that know, I've tried to start a YouTube a few times and I'm really bad at it. So basically, I make one video and then it takes me so long because I'm technically inefficient, and then I just get over it. So this time I have bought a really nice camera, which is really hard because it has like the viewfinder you can flip up. So trying to look at the camera instead of myself it's gonna be the struggle for today, but we're gonna go with it. I'm pretty sure the sound's gonna be terrible. I need to like buy a microphone, or I don't know how these people do it. And the editing, let's not even get started on that. But basically I thought the only way to get good at this is by committing to it, and hopefully you guys can come on the journey with me to working out how to make a decent video. Goals, dream big, kid. So today I thought I would just give you guys a bit of a life update. I asked for you to send in some questions and I was overwhelmed, there were so many. So I'm going to try answer a few of them and the ones that are asked a lot. This is basically my way of documenting the next adventure and the next chapter in my life. I am absolutely obsessed with watching YouTube videos, so I thought, why not finally commit to this and take you guys on this adventure that is sort of the unknown for me as well. And I want to be able to look back on this in a couple of years time and be like, oh my god, firstly, Ari, what were you thinking with the quality of that video? But also that's so cool that I can watch like my journey. So yeah, let's get started on the questions because I can ramble for days. Alright, sorry, I had to go find my phone, and I'm going to be looking down at the questions, but I'm not being rude. Okay, so basically the question I wanted to cover first, just so we can get it out of the way and then focus on the rest of the questions. The thing I was most asked is, are you and Harley still together? And I think most of you probably guessed because we haven't been posting photos together and we haven't been living in the same place. No, we are not. Harley and I broke up about 3 months ago now, before anyone is like, oh my god, what happened? There is no big drama, there is nothing that's gonna make the headlines. Basically, we got to that point where, you know, I'm 22, Harley's 25, and we had been together for, you know, nearly 3 years, and we'd grown together, and honestly, it was the best relationship. I get really worried that people think that we put this facade out there on Instagram and pretended that we were all happy, but really there were all these dramas. Like, no, we never had a fight, we never had an issue, we were the happiest couple. But it just got to that point where Harles wanted to go and live his life. He hadn't been single or out of a long-term relationship since he was like 18. He hadn't traveled and he needed to be his own person. And at the time I was like, how can this be right when we're so happy? But I in turn discovered that I too need to be my own person, and it took probably a month for me to really realize that. But now I am so grateful for the opportunity to really have these pivotal years in my life focused on me and spent finding who I am. I literally have not a bad word to say about Harles, and I'm pretty sure the feelings are mutual, I hope. I have nothing but the utmost love and respect for him. I think he is the best guy in the world. But I'm only addressing this because waking up to like 10 comments every day saying, are you and Harley still together? It's just not necessary. Like, for him and for me, you know, we're trying to like live our own lives, and we're, you know, really happy, and we're past that point where we're grieving. So it's just like a bit of a bummer when I wake up to that every morning. So I really hope that this clarifies a few things. I'm hoping that it doesn't bring another onslaught of questions as to like why. There must be a reason. That's the reason. We got to that point where, you know, like your paths have been the same for so long and your priorities have been the same, and then we no longer wanted the same things anymore. Harles has been living in LA. He loves it there. I don't think I belong in LA at the moment. I wasn't particularly happy when I was there, hence why I've stayed in Melbourne up until I've decided to go to London. So that's basically what I wanted to just cover first. I hope you guys can like respect our privacy. I think you know, you are owed an explanation in a way, because you know, social media means that everyone's kind of involved in everyone's lives these days. But yeah, if you can just like try to be happy for us and know that we absolutely love each other, we speak basically every day and we're all good. Now, moving on to things about me. So as I just mentioned, I am moving to the UK for 3 months and I'm so excited. I leave in 2 weeks and I'm going completely on my own. This is the first time I'm traveling on my own, so I'm also absolutely petrified. There is no doubt about that, but more so excited. Will you visit anywhere else while you're in London? Are you moving around England? Absolutely. So I went to London about 3 years ago. Oh no, I've been busted in my pajama pants. Yeah, I went to London about 3 years ago and I absolutely loved it. I was traveling with my best friend at the time and we were like, yeah, no, we need to move here eventually. And it's always been in the back of my mind. I want to head back there. London will be my base and it reminds me so much of Melbourne, so it's like a home away from home for me. But I want to check out Ireland, I want to check out Scotland, I want to check out Wales, and then also I want to do like inside England, like I want to go up to Brighton. Is it up? I don't, because obviously that's where every YouTuber ever lives. I feel like I need to go there. Maybe I've got the fairy lights, so maybe if I go to Brighton, then like now I'm legit, you know. I want to go to Cornwall because my sister's boyfriend grew up there. You guys sent me a huge list and like I'm not kidding, I actually did listen. Like this is, oh you can't see, but like my list of workout places and cafes and spots to check out. So I'm onto it. I'm not going to leave anything out, okay? But yeah, I definitely want to check out other parts of England. I also want to check out other parts of Europe. Some places I've already been to. I'm going to head to Paris with Mavoni, who, if any of you guys watch Neighbours, she plays Piper, and she's like my best friend as well. So we want to check out Paris together. I want to go back to Greece. I'd love to maybe go back to Amsterdam, pop into Croatia. I realise I have 3 months, but you know, I'm being hopeful here. What are you most scared about and what are you most excited about? I'm definitely most scared about just taking this journey on my own. I think as empowering and exciting as it is to be independent, there's also a lot of things like, you know, working out a public transport system for me is really hard because I'm geographically challenged. You know, finding my accommodation is sorted, but that was like quite stressful, making sure I was where I wanted to be in a safe environment with good people. Making friends, I mean, I'm generally pretty outgoing, I can talk to most people, but it's just putting yourself out there and being like, hey, I'm a total loner, want to be my friend? I've put myself out there, there's like a few Facebook groups and I've been like, so I'm moving over, I don't know anyone, and people have been nothing but so kind, and that's probably what I'm most excited about, is to meet new people and like experience a new culture. I want to like check out every vegan cafe, I want to try all the workouts, like that's how exciting my life is. I'm really excited that no one over there knows anything about me. You know, you've got your set routine, your friendship groups, and like you sort of fit into what people have always known you to be, and when I go over there no one has any expectations or has any idea of who I've been in the past, so it's like, it's kind of like a fresh start, and that really excites me because I can be whoever I want to be and do whatever I want to do without any expectations. And I got quite a lot of questions about you know, moving somewhere by yourself and like what advice you give, and this is the first time I've done it, so I don't think I'm very creditable when it comes to giving advice yet. Hopefully after 3 months I can give you some, but I think for me the biggest advice I have is just to do it. I ummed and ahed for like quite a few weeks, and I went up to Sydney and I was staying with my sister, and Marnie, one of my other best friends, lives there, and she's the one who I travelled to Europe with all those years ago, and she was just like, Ari, why not? Like, when are you ever going to have this opportunity again? You're 22 years old, you have no obligations, you have no responsibilities, you have nothing keeping you at home, and what have you got to lose? Literally nothing. I have nothing to lose. I have only things to gain. And she's right, there's not many times in your life when you have no one relying on you, you don't have anything in your way, and you can just go do exactly what you want to do. So for anyone not sure whether it's a good idea, I just say go for it. Either way, you're going to grow as a person, you're going to learn things about yourself. It is really cliche, but this trip, whenever people ask me, I'm sort of like, I don't like saying it because it does sound a little bit, but it is to find myself. It's to learn new things about myself that I wouldn't know if I didn't step out of my comfort zone. I love being comfortable and I love having routine and doing the same thing every day, but it gets to a point where you plateau, you're not changing, you're not growing as a person, and these last few months have made me realize that I owe it to myself to give myself every opportunity to grow and to learn every part of myself, even the parts I don't like, and even the things that scare me. So just go for it. I also got so many questions about what am I planning on doing in London? Do I want to work there? So I am only coming for 3 months at the moment because I have to head back to Melbourne in December. My sister is getting married. I'm so excited. So this 3-month trip is sort of like, it's basically an excuse for a holiday. I really just want some time, as I said, to be by myself, to meet new people, to go on adventures. If I really love it there, it's definitely a place I'd consider moving more long term next year at some point, instead of, you know, going back to America, or instead of being in Australia. But at the moment, it is sort of just a way for me to have a bit of time out and have a bit of RE time. I see this question so much, and I love watching other people answer it. If you now had some advice for your younger self, what would you say? This is quite shocking to me whenever I actually think about it. But for some reason when I was younger, I was so obsessed with being popular, and anyone who knows me now would be like, what? Because now I am the least interested in big groups of people and being, you know, queen bee and going out. I have like the opposite of FOMO, or fear of missing out. Like, I just want to be in my bed, I want to do my own thing, I want to be independent. But at school, I just had this obsession with everyone liking me, and not even necessarily liking me, but wanting to be like me or wanting to be me, which is just insane. Like, school was great academically, I loved working, I loved learning, but socially it was hard for me at times. I was never bullied, not at all, but I was mean to myself. I always wanted to be perfect. I've been like that my whole life, and it wasn't until I really stopped caring that suddenly people radiated towards me and actually wanted to be friends with me. And it wasn't until year 9 I did the Saddle Club, and then year 10, 11, 12 I did distance education, because I was traveling and working, and I went to a really highly academic school, and I just couldn't get there for the hours that they needed me to be there. So I started doing distance education, which is like homeschooling, but it's online, and you do all the work yourself, you teach yourself, and then you send it off to teachers and they send it back marked. And I loved it. And as soon as I took the focus off everyone else and what they thought, and just really focused on me and what I wanted to do with my life, I just wanted to get school done, and I wanted to get a score I was proud of, and I did. I worked my butt off, probably unnecessarily. I never really planned on going to uni with what I did, but you know, I worked hard anyway, and I'll always be really proud of that. But yeah, the advice, God, I ramble, oh my god. The advice I would give is stop caring about what other people think. After school, none of it matters. No one's ever going to care what group you were in, what clique you were in. You will find your people after school. Usually you go out into the big wide world and you realize that none of it mattered, and you are so annoyed at yourself for ever caring so much, because there is so much more to life than, you know, whether you got invited to this party or whether your dress code was right. Like, I promise you, it does not matter, and you're going to meet people who love you for you, and you're going to fit in your own unique way. There's just something really fulfilling about accepting that this is you and you are a full package and you don't owe anyone anything. And as soon as you accept that, you'll be surprised at how quickly people will accept you for that. Are you planning on returning to Neighbours, and do you miss it? I miss Neighbours like crazy. I had the best 3 years of my life there, and I'm not just saying that. It is honestly the best place I've ever worked. The people are amazing, and they're obviously what I miss most. The cast, the crew. I would definitely go back for a guestie. I think it would be really fun for Imogen to like come say hi to the family. But yeah, not long term, otherwise I probably would have just extended my contract. But yeah, definitely would love to pop in and just say hi to everyone, because they're like my family, and I really do miss them, even though I see the cast like most weekends or every day at training. One more Neighbours question, because there were a lot of them. Who was your favourite person to work on set and off set with? This is hard. Obviously, I loved working with Mav. She came later on, but as soon as she joined, we were like inseparable. Obviously, I loved working with Harls. That was always so much fun. Anything that was like a Willis family scene, they were always my favourite scenes to film. And also probably Tim. For the last like 2 years I was on the show, we were together in nearly every scene, and he can make me belly laugh better than most people. And I really loved like the connection that our characters had, so it was always so much fun to build that together. But honestly, all the older cast who have been there like since day dot, like Jackie and Alan, like Carl and Susan, they are hysterical. And offset, I mean, most of like my age group still do hang out together. Like I obviously love hanging out with Mav and Harley and Tim and Olympia and Travis and Matt and Felix and Lily and Scott. Oh, I'm gonna forget some, but we are genuinely all really good friends and a real tight-knit. And I think you hear that a lot about casting. You're like, okay, you've been told to say that, but no, this cast is like legit. We all actually really like each other. What inspired you to go vegan, and what is your favorite meal? I think what inspired me to go vegan was watching documentaries. Like a lot of people, I watched Earthlings, and I had been vegetarian for a while before that, but after watching Cowspiracy, Earthlings, I think I just became educated, and I suddenly learned a lot more and knew a lot more, and therefore couldn't really be naive. I was no longer uneducated on what was happening anymore, and therefore I couldn't take part in it anymore. I don't have that spiritual connection that a lot of people talk about in veganism, where you feel more connected to the earth, more grounded. Like I don't know that I've experienced that, but I definitely feel like I'm doing as much for the world in that way that I can, and therefore I just feel a bit more fulfilled and a bit better about myself in that way. I guess it's a bit of a selfish way to look at it, but it is one of the driving forces for me, if I'm being honest. Thank you, very loud motorbike. And what is my favourite meal? Oats. Like, I have a weird obsession with oats. Every morning, without fail, I'll have my oats with peanut butter or almond butter, goji berries, shredded coconut and raisins, and that's like my favourite meal. How did you get into boxing, and what is your favourite workout? Okay, I got into boxing, actually. Harley went first to a place right near my house, and he went to Fight Fit, which is in South Melbourne, and he started training with one of the trainers there, Ruan, who pretty much everyone and their dog trains with. He's the best. And yeah, he went for a few sessions, and naturally being exercise obsessed, I got jealous and I was like, nah, I'm having a go. So I went to a session and I was hooked. I love it. Like, there's very rarely a session where I walk out not thinking I'm gonna vomit in the best possible way. And my favorite workout, okay, so in typical Ari fashion, something went wrong and I don't know how to get the camera back where it was. So new position it is. Guys, I'm really bad at this. I hate being bad at things. Favorite workout. Yeah, I do 4 things like every week without fail. So I spin at a studio called Bodie and Ride in Port Melbourne, and it is the best place in the world. It's basically a party. There's like strobe lights and like the best music. Have like Beyonce rides. It's so amazing, and all the girls that work there are vegan and healthy and glowing, and I'm seriously there every morning at 6 a.m. and it puts me in the best mood. I also work at F45 and train there every day, which is, a lot of people know what F45 is. They're all over the world. High intensity training, circuit training, and 2 days a week it's strength training, 3 days a week it's cardio, and then 1 day a week today, which is Saturday, it's Hollywood. We have like a live DJ, and it's a mixture of strength and cardio. Amazing, love it. Then I train at Foxfit, which is with my trainer Tom, who I've trained with probably the longest, and it's sprint training usually. It is probably one of the hardest things I do. I'm talking like sprinting 500 meters at some ridiculous pace on the treadmill and hoping that I don't die. It's usually what our sessions are made out of, but I love them, and I don't think anyone makes me work harder than Tom. And then boxing, of course, at Fight Fit with Ruan. And I will actually link like all of their Instagrams down below, because I do get a lot of questions about where I train and where my favourite places are, and those 4 are definitely what I would recommend in Melbourne. This is the best. I got so many serious and like really good questions, and then I get this and I couldn't not include it. Would you rather have fingers for toes or toes for fingers? Now, I have thought about this, so don't think I'm making some rash decision. Definitely fingers for toes. Yeah. Who doesn't want another set of hands, basically? And then you can grab things with your feet. They'd be so much more handy than having, I have tiny toes. If I had toes for fingers, like I might as well just not have fingers. And I have tiny feet, so I reckon if I had toes, if I had fingers for toes, then I'd probably just fit into a normal shoe size instead of being like a 5. So I got you on that one. I got quite a lot of questions on weight struggles and my past with an eating disorder, and I definitely do want to address all of those questions, but I feel they'll be better in a separate video purely based on that. So if you guys do have any questions on that, please leave a comment. Oh, I feel so official. Yeah, please leave a comment, and I would absolutely love to do a video on that. Who are your favorite British YouTubers / vloggers? This is totally my favorite question, because literally all I do all day is watch British YouTubers and vloggers. I don't know why I don't watch Australians or Americans. I just find, firstly, I love the accent, which is probably quite an incentive as to why I'm moving there. But I just think their lives seem really interesting, and I'm sure they're not more interesting than an American's life or an Australian's or South Africa's or anyone else's life, but they just seem really lovely. I watch the ones everyone watches, obviously Zoe and Alfie and Tanya and Jim and Joe and like all those really funny boys who seem absolutely hilarious, like Jack and Casper. Maybe I think I might be making a YouTube channel so that I somehow become funnier and cooler, but you know, hasn't worked as of yet. This lighting is constantly changing, isn't it? I thought going with natural light would be a good idea, but being Melbourne, the natural light changes every 4 seconds, so that was a good idea. I got a lot of questions about career-wise, what I'm doing now. Acting is definitely still my main focus. Since Neighbours, I've done a few things here and there, a bit of voiceover work. I'm doing a guest role on an ABC show at the end of this week. But to be honest, it's been really nice just having a few months of traveling. I've been to Sydney for a few weeks, I've been to Japan for a few weeks. It's been really nice just to kind of have a bit of time off, and this trip sort of extends to that. I will probably have a couple of meetings with managers and agents over there if I decide London is somewhere I want to be in the future. But yeah, acting is still definitely my main focus. I love fitness training and PT work, and I would love to keep doing that on the side. But yeah, in the new year, my focus is right back into acting and doing something productive with my life. But in saying that, YouTube is something I'm actually really passionate about, and it's going to take me a lot of time to get to the point where I want to be and create content that, you know, I'm actually proud of. But I think there's something really awesome about YouTube in that social media these days makes it really easy to present this version of yourself. You know, like we use every filter on Snapchat, and we, you know, face tune our faces on Instagram, and you know, post statuses on Facebook about how great our day was. But I think the great thing about YouTube is that I'm sitting here talking to a camera, and yes, I could be putting on a facade or pretending to be someone I'm not, but it's much harder to hide who you really are. And you know, this is what I look like, this is me talking to you, and this is, you know, how my voice sounds, and I really like that. I like that there's no bullshit attached to it, really. Like these next 3 months I want to mainly be vlogging and taking you guys on this crazy journey of moving countries by myself and the struggles, and I'm sure there'll be some vlogs where I'm looking hideous with no makeup on, crying, and I think that's really cool. Like that's what I like watching, because it shows that like these people who we look up to and who we think are these supernatural beings that have perfect lives are human, and all of us go through our shit. So yeah, in terms of career, definitely the focus is on acting, but I also really want to put a lot of focus on my YouTube and continue doing my fitness work. Okay guys, I think this video is probably about 3 hours long by now. I hope it's covered some questions. I hope it's cleared a few things up. I would love for you guys to suggest like what sort of videos you want to see, or like just comment saying, you know, how much you loved this video, or if you didn't, you can just comment that to yourself and keep it from me. Okay, what do people say? Like, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. That's it, isn't it? Let's wait for this big finish. But yeah, I would love you guys to subscribe. I promise you I'm committing to making videos. I would love to make what you guys want to see. So yeah, share this with your friends, and let's make my YouTube a lot more successful than it has been in the past. Thanks guys.